When you say yes to others, make sure you are not saying no to yourself. By Paulo Coelho. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have an almost supernatural control over the environment around them without saying a word? They don't shout, they don't beg, they don't chase validation, they simply withdraw. And suddenly, everything changes. The atmosphere thickens, the energy shifts. People start to wonder, to question, to chase after them, to feel. Now imagine if you did the same, if you stopped reacting immediately to every situation, if you chose silence instead of the automatic retort, if you embraced retreat instead of explosion. What do you think would happen? Here lies the point. When you stop being excessively available, emotionally, physically, psychologically, the world around you goes into crisis. Why? Because people have become accustomed to controlling you through your reactions, through your impulses, through your predictability. But the day you choose to withdraw, the game changes. Those who thought they knew you suddenly realize they know nothing about you. Carl Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves." Think about that. When you become inaccessible, who really gets desperate? Who becomes irritated? Who tries to provoke you just to elicit some emotion back? That moment reveals more about them than it does about you, and it reveals something else. How much of your own life you have unknowingly given away through your reactivity. You give yourself endlessly, saying yes when you mean no, offering time you don't have, giving explanations you don't owe, all in the name of peace, acceptance, or avoiding conflict. With every forced yes, every quick reply, every emotional reaction, you hand away a piece of your energy. And what's left at the end of the day? Tiredness, frustration, a gnawing emptiness you can't quite explain. But here is the truth. It's because you are too available for those who don't deserve even a minute of your silence. This is not about abandoning the world. It's about choosing yourself. It's about what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming whole, authentic, complete. And individuation begins with understanding that silence can be stronger than 1,000 arguments. Withdrawal, when it comes from awareness rather than cowardice, is not weakness, it is power. From childhood, most of us are conditioned to equate our worth with availability. Be a good child. Respond quickly. Don't say no. Please others. Be agreeable. Smile even when it hurts. Somewhere along the way, we confuse this conditioning with virtue. But in truth, excessive availability is not a virtue. It is a prison. As long as you continue to believe you must be emotionally or physically accessible at all times, you will be manipulated, drained, and forgotten as soon as your usefulness expires. Because here is the cruel irony. What is too predictable becomes a tool. People begin to use you as an emotional emergency button. They press it when they crave attention, comfort, or validation. And then they put you back on the shelf when they're satisfied. And you don't even notice because you've been trapped in the illusion that being endlessly present for everyone will guarantee that someone will finally be present for you. But it doesn't work that way. Carl Jung wrote about the persona, the social mask we wear to be accepted, loved, and recognized. And it is this very mask that often drives our over-availability. You say it's fine when you are suffocating. You respond immediately to messages though you're exhausted. You explain yourself unnecessarily, defend yourself instinctively, justify yourself endlessly, as if you owe the world an explanation for simply existing. But here is the paradox. The more you place yourself at the center of others' stage, the more you disappear from your own. Excessive availability is a subtle form of self-abandonment. It is disguised approval-seeking, a way of avoiding rejection, a method of controlling how others perceive you. But the price is steep. You pay with your peace, with your vital energy, with the erosion of your authentic self. And the harsh reality is this: people who demand your constant availability do not truly want you. They want what you provide: validation, distraction, comfort. The moment you change, the moment you stop being useful, they turn irritated or even hostile. Not because you have changed, but because you have stopped being functional for them. Here is the cruelest point. The more available you are, the less value others give you. Why? Because what is too abundant becomes cheap. No one respects what they do not have to earn. No one values what is always there. So pause and reflect. Who truly deserves your presence? Who earns your listening, your attention, your energy? And perhaps more importantly, who deserves your absence? Why do we react so much? Why do we surrender so easily? The answer lies in Jung's concept of psychic energy. Every thought, emotion, and action consumes a portion of this energy. The question is, are you consciously choosing where your energy goes? Or are you letting the world decide for you? Every time you react impulsively, you scatter your energy. You waste it defending against criticisms that did not deserve a second of your attention. You squander it, proving yourself in arguments that didn't matter. You pour it into pleasing people who were never invested in you. Jung warned us. That which you resist persists. The more you react, the more entangled you become. People who live emotionally exhausted are not weak. They are misdirected. They are bleeding energy into cracks they have not sealed. And manipulators sense it immediately. They see your exposed buttons, your need to react, your hunger to be validated, and they exploit it. A healthy psyche learns to guard its energy. It learns to say no without guilt. It learns to remain silent without shame. It learns to observe before acting. Because true power does not lie in reacting. True power lies in choosing when and whether to act at all. Think of psychic energy as a force field. When preserved, it radiates presence. You walk into a room and you command respect without uttering a word. But when mismanaged, the same energy leaks. You become fragile, invisible, reactive, and the world has no mercy for those who cannot guard their center. So begin observing yourself. What triggers your automatic reactions? What wounds make you lose your center? These are the exact points where your energy escapes. And those are the precise places where you must learn restraint. One of Jung's greatest contributions was his insight into projection, the psychological act of throwing onto others what we cannot face within ourselves. The overly available person becomes the perfect canvas for these projections. Friends reach out only in crisis. Partners turn to you as savior. Colleagues unload frustrations onto you. They are not relating to you. They are relating to an idea of you, the role you've silently agreed to play. And why do you agree? Because you fear rejection. You fear being unloved. You fear abandonment. But remember, the most effective manipulation rarely occurs through shouting. It happens through silence, the silence of guilt. History itself provides a powerful story of the strength of withdrawal. After his break with Freud, Carl Jung, 1875 to 1961, entered what he called his confrontation with the unconscious. For years, he withdrew from public life. Instead of chasing recognition or external validation, he turned inward. He painted his inner visions. He dialogued with the depths of his mind. He recorded his encounters in what later became known as the Red Book. This was not a retreat of weakness. It was a sacred isolation, a deliberate step back from the world to face his own depths. And what emerged from this withdrawal? His most profound theories, archetypes, the collective unconscious, individuation. The very ideas that shaped modern psychology were not born while Jung was available to the world, but while he was unavailable, withdrawn, silent, listening inward. The lesson is clear. Stepping back from constant availability to others allowed him to transform from a mere reactor to a creator. It was in isolation, not in endless interaction, that Jung birthed wisdom that still changes lives today. So I ask you, how long will you continue to let others control you through your emotions? How long will you allow yourself to be a puppet, reacting every time someone pokes your wounds? Perhaps it is time to cut those strings, to withdraw, to become a mystery. Because when you stop being available, everything changes. Think of the dynamics of relationships. The one who reacts the most loses the most. The one who is always available becomes the least valued. And the one who knows how to withhold, to choose presence intentionally, becomes the most respected. Your availability should be a gift, not a default setting. It should be chosen, not demanded. Rare, not constant. Because what is constant becomes invisible, but what is rare becomes precious. This journey is not about cruelty. It is not about abandoning humanity. It is about reclaiming your center, about stepping out of the prison of availability, about choosing yourself. It is about learning to protect your psychic energy, to say no without apology, to remain silent when silence serves you better than noise. It is about remembering that those who love you will not disappear when you stop being excessively available. In fact, your withdrawal will separate the genuine from the opportunistic. Silence is not absence, it is presence of another kind. Withdrawal is not escape, it is recentering. When you stop being predictable, people are forced to meet you as you are, not as the role you played. And that is when real connection begins. Jung's life, your own exhaustion, and the patterns of human behavior all teach us the same truth. Excessive availability is self-abandonment. Boundaries are not barriers. They are the architecture of authenticity. So the next time you feel the urge to react, pause. The next time you are pulled to justify, remain silent. The next time you feel guilty for withholding, remember this: what is rare is valued, what is guarded is respected, and what is whole cannot be manipulated. This has been a reflection from Satheos, a channel that explores deep thinking, timeless wisdom, and mindfulness, making ancient philosophy relevant for modern life. If this message resonated with you, support the journey. Like, share, and subscribe to Satheos so you don't miss the next insight.